It's going to be 40 degrees Celsius in the UK tomorrow. It's going to be super hot. But these fragrances I'm about to discuss are not super hot. After that extremely disappointing intro, we're going to discuss fragrances that I feel that are overhyped in the community and fragrances that I would be happy to remove from my collection. Not that I'm going to, because I'm a reviewer and it's very useful to have these fragrances that are pretty much staples in the community now. I feel that after Jeremy Fragrance and other influencers got involved with these big names, that everyone in the community bought them and now recommends them to everyone. It's become, sort of had a viral trend for these fragrances. So these are popular fragrances, you know them. I think they've etched themselves into the community, but I don't think they deserve a spot. And I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to give you the alternatives to these fragrances that I do not like anymore and I would want to remove from my collection. Creed Aventus. This is a 2022 bottle and it's rubbish. This is watered down beyond belief. It is not worth £300, which is how much I spent on this reluctantly. I did it for a public reaction video. Go watch it if you haven't, guys, please. Make it worth it. We need some money from the ad spend, from the AdSense to make up for this, please. Yeah, so it's not worth the money, Creed Aventus. It has been reformulated, definitely. There's so many clones that are superior. The opening is beautiful. I think it does have very high quality ingredients. It just is not worth the money. So I think fragrances that are going to be similar to this in its price tag is going to be Hashivat, which I would recommend over this. And something cheaper would be Club de Nuit Intense Man's Eau de Parfum. Paco Rabanne's Invictus. This is actually what got me into fragrances, even before I watched big influencers like Jeremy, as well as Terre d'Hermès Eau Intense Vetiver. Actually, that really got me into the fragrance game because I really appreciated at the time how different perfumes can smell. When you're a beginner, this stuff is groundbreaking, it's crazy. It's a bubblegum DNA. Anyone who smelled Paco Rabanne Invictus will just know what I mean by a fragrance smelling like bubblegum. It's sort of fruity, sweet, fun, synthetic. And you know that this fragrance has definitely influenced so many other releases now from loads of different brands. I feel like the flankers, though, are more interesting than the original. The original sort of has become more redundant because fragrances like Versace House exist, which sort of surpasses in every way. This is nice for me as something for going down memory lane, but I do think it's not that amazingly blended. It has okay performance. I feel like the performance in Invictus has been reformulated as well. It's not a bad fragrance, but they're just much better alternatives now all over the place in the markets. Prada L'Homme. I don't like Prada L'Homme that much. I never have. I'm not sure why. I think it does smell professional, clean, elegant. However, I feel that Dior Homme Eau, which is discontinued, did this DNA better. This is a clone of Dior Homme Eau, which will smell more masculine. To me, actually, I do think Prada L'Homme smells a bit too unisex, actually a little bit too feminine. When you overspray this stuff, you realize just how floral it smells. I think it goes a bit too potent on the iris. It's a nice fragrance. Prada is not a bad brand at all. They don't skimp on quality. However, I would prefer something like Dior Homme Eau or even the original Dior Homme over Prada L'Homme. It just isn't masculine enough for me. And honestly, I think it's just boring, and I know I'm going to get crucified for that opinion. Another one I wanted to mention on this video, but I actually think I already have removed it from my collection, is Tom Ford's Black Orchid. I still own the Black Orchid Parfum, which I think is a superior flanker. Black Orchid in itself is just too dense, floral, and feminine smelling, in my opinion. It really is, it makes me feel sick when I wear it. It's a very good quality perfumery. It's very impressive and creative. It has fantastic performance, and I think some guys love it. So it's a very polarizing perfume. I like other polarizing scents like Kuros, but I don't like the style of Black Orchid. The Parfum flanker I do definitely recommend over the original. It's a bit more masculine, more smooth, closer to the skin, so it's not as loud and as annoying, and it has an interesting rum note in there. And I can't believe it, a Chanel is here, Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. I actually gave away my almost brand new bottle of this before, after I bought it on Jeremy's suggestion, saying that this is gonna be a lot of compliments. It didn't give me any. Oh well, but this is a good fragrance. This is a very good quality. The blend is very smooth. I think the problem with this fragrance is that it's too smooth, in my opinion. Before looking at the note breakdown, I got this when I was very early on in my fragrance journey. I couldn't tell it had the orange the mint, the tonka bean, which is famous for it. So it's very, very nicely blended. But for me, it just doesn't, nothing in it sticks out enough to give it enough character, and overall makes it quite a boring wear overall. It's not a linear fragrance. It does have some transformation in its duration, but for me, it's just not that interesting to wear. It's just, it's just very inoffensive, very smooth, very well blended, but forgettable in my opinion. I would recommend something like the original Allure Homme Sport or MFK's Amorous Homme if you want a sweet signature. These last two are Versace, so I know I'm not going to be very popular saying I'm going to remove these. Versace Eros, the Eau de Toilette. Again, another fragrance I've previously tried to get rid of, but being a reviewer, you need to have this in your collection. It's very useful to reference. Eros is a sexy fragrance. I think it's sexy when I smell it on other people as well. It gets the job done. It's a very easy first clubbing fragrance. I think it's boring. And even when I was the beginner, when I first got this fragrance, even back then, I got bored of it so quickly, maybe a few weeks into wearing it. I thought I'd wear it as my daily signature. It's the kind of fragrance that blows you away at first sniff, but then you realize just how basic it is. It is like the basic guy's fragrance, in my opinion. Okay, that's a very offensive statement, so I know I'm going to be crucified for that, but I do feel that it is, yeah, just it gets a bit overdone. I feel like it's the sweet version of the Dior Sauvage. Both great fragrances, and if you enjoy wearing them, then more power to you. But I think a fragrance like Azzaro's The Most Wanted has overtaken this, and I think is a superior product. The Most Wanted, now that is interesting, better blended, and is sexier in my opinion. Versace Dylan Blue. I've given this hate previously on the channel before. I don't think it's that great a blue fragrance. I think it's very youthful. It's not bad if you can find it on discounts. And in fairness, I think before I bought this fragrance, I tried it in stores, and I think this has been reformulated because the performance when I tried it on the tester in store was much stronger. So maybe if it was still that beast of a fragrance, it would be better to have today. But now I think it's overly synthetic, it's not that greatly blended, and the alternatives in the blue market are just, there's so many better options. So a fragrance like Bleu de Chanel Parfum blows it out the water. Something in a similar price range might be Ferragamo's Acqua Essenziale Blue, and YSL Y EDP. You can probably find that at a good price these days also. I think it's tough for this to compete with its competitors, and we even had a public reaction video for this genre of fragrances, the four main blue fragrances, where this came in last, I believe. So yeah, you guys can check that out as well. I know a lot of people do love Dylan Blue. I still will say it's better for younger guys, probably guys under the age of 21. If you're over the age of 21, you probably have more money, get something else. Yeah, so guys, I think those fragrances should stop being overplayed in the community. Yeah, I'm gonna still keep it in my collection because they're very useful to have. And every time I try to get rid of these fragrances, I end up actually getting them back in. So that's it. They've pretty much etched themselves into the DNA of the fragrance community. Hopefully this video has given you guys some good alternative ideas. If you think any of these fragrances are overhyped, and if you agree with me, disagree, let me know in the comments down below. It'll be interesting to see the debate that's going to be inevitable from this video. Make sure to check out our other uploads as well in the meantime, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.